majority. The great risk that Jon runs in going to Hardhome, as we find out later, is leaving the Castle Black in commandship of some of his greatest enemies and foes. He leads them back through the wall, and we can see that this is dividing opinion quite heavily. Now he finds himself in a real place of loneliness at the wall. His main core of supporters are not there anymore. They died in the battle or he sent them off.
For the watch.
It's a great betrayal. It's the ultimate betrayal. The first stab is a shock, and then everyone after that, he knows what's happening, and he's going to look every one of them in the eyes.
For the watch.
And Jon dies.
Do you know of any magic that could bring him back?
Davos is the person that tries to bring Jon back and actually succeeds in convincing Melisandre to do that. His murder has released him of his duties to the Night's Watch. He's just about to pack up and leave. His sister comes through the gates, who he assumed is dead.
A monster has taken our home and our brother. We have to go back to Winterfell and save them both.
And she's the one that stirs him back into a place of action. Battle of the Bastards. It's about one illegitimate bastard versus another. Ramsay Bolton would have won were it not for Sansa outthinking him. This is where I get so frustrated with Sansa. It drives me mad. It drives me mad.
We know no king, but the king in the north whose name is Stark.
The king in the north! The king in the north! The king in the north!
I received this a few days ago. Lord Tyrion has invited me to Dragonstone to meet with Daenerys. And I'm going to accept.
I need to go south. I get the risks, and I get that my father went south, my brother went south, and they both died, and the south is a terrible place. But what choice do we have? We can't defend ourselves against what's coming. So I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to go south, and I'm going to get us a bigger army.
You're abandoning your people. You're abandoning your home.
Again, this conversation with Sansa comes up, where he's just, sorry, I'm getting really annoyed with Sansa. But he kind of like, you know, she's like, why are you going south? And he's like, well, because we're all going to die otherwise. And she's like, well, you can't do that. It drives me mad. It drives me mad that she keeps coming up with these nonsensical suggestions. I've got really animated now that Sansa's come into the story. I don't know why. I didn't realise this annoyed me so much. Sorry. It's like a Jon Snow therapy session. He walks into the room, he looks up, and he's incredibly attracted to her. She says, I'll give you what you want if you bend the knee. And he says, I can't do that, my people won't accept that.
Your Grace, everyone you know will die before winter's over if we don't defeat the enemy to the north.
There's a huge untapped quantity of dragon glass that sits underneath Dragonstone. He convinces Dany that he can mine this stuff. In doing this, he discovers pictures of the Night King and the White Walkers.
They fought together against their common enemy. We need to do the same if we're going to survive.
She agrees with him, but the same problem remains, which is she needs him to submit to her will, to be her commander rather than a king.
I will fight for you. I will fight for the North. When you bend the knee.
The next decision to be made is okay, well, what if we could bring a piece of proof down south to show Cersei to end this war so we can unite and we can all go fight the Night King and the army of the dead. And that's what Jon then decides to do, is take a group of commandos beyond the wall to go and capture a White. It's a pretty mental thing to do, really. But he does it.
We have something to show you. There is only one war that matters. The Great War.
The Crown accepts your truce. Until the dead are defeated, they are the true enemy. In return, the King in the North will extend this truce. He will not take up arms against the Lannisters. He will not choose sides.
At this point, Jon is not able to lie.
I cannot give you what you ask. I cannot serve two queens. And I've already pledged myself to Queen Daenerys of House Targaryen.
He's done with deceit. The world of Game of Thrones is one built on deceit, political maneuverings, and that's not who Jon is, at the very heart of it. Jon is not that person, which is what makes him different from everyone else in this world and what makes him good. The end of season 7, we see them heading to Winterfell. And they're going back as not-so-secret lovers.